Live. There we are.
How are you?
Manners. Tired, mate. I am tired.
Why?
Yes. As you know, we have 4 wonderful dogs. All right.
Yeah.
And one of them, the smallest of them, Willow, has this really irritating habit of listening to everything at night and then barking like a Rottweiler as soon as she hears a noise. So last night, she didn't bark loudly, but she started rumbling at her, a sort of shallow growl, which then started the others off. And then when you got 4 dogs, that turns into a cacophony, which is something like out of 101 Dalmatians. It's like, oh my god! And it would stop, and we go and find out what the noise was, and there's no noise.
Oh.
So and it carried on for like 3 hours. So basically, I'm really tired today because I've slept, but I've had disturbed sleep, and I think, as you know, disturbed sleeping is
not ideal.
Not good.
Mate,
no,
not ideal. But it's funny you say that. We definitely don't allow our cat. We don't allow Merlin anymore. Simply for that reason, mate. A cat, 2 o'clock in the morning, just wants to stick his head right in your face. Wants to sit up. Wants to purr all over you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Ours are really good, right? Normally, when one's not growling or barking, they curl up, go to sleep, and they're wonderful. It's just that, I don't know what it was, because there was nothing. It wasn't particularly windy last night, but something was obviously irritating it. But when you think about that, you think about when you're sleeping, Dom, or when you've got something on your mind.
Yeah.
If you don't deal with that action, it feeds on your mind, doesn't it, throughout the night, and you get disturbed sleep. And I know for me, when I've got a lot on my mind, I have a pad beside my bed, because if I don't write them out, I will just be lying there wide awake, or I'll go to sleep, or and I think disturbed sleep's just, as I say, it's just a horrible thing.
I said to you yesterday, I overslept, and for whatever reason, I didn't have an alarm on yesterday. I don't know why. I must have put it off last week or something. Anyway, alarm doesn't go off, and I don't wake up.
Yeah.
Been in a blissful sleep, and it was fantastic. It wound me up initially, but then I just accepted that I obviously needed it, so I become at ease. Nevertheless, today, as you know, day off, no alarm set. And I was saying yesterday, last night's show, about how I got something looming over my head. I needed to prepare Thursdays. Well, just carry on, continue, finish Thursdays training sessions. I started it last night, and I was well under my way, but I wasn't finished. What happened this morning? No alarm clock. I normally sleep like a baby. Wake up on a Wednesday, I'm quite happy. 4:30, I'm awake, and I did not.
That's typical, isn't it?
I wasn't going back to sleep. Man.
Good morning, Grant. How are you doing? Grant McDonald's in the house.
Grant McDonald. I feel like Grant McDonald's becoming a top fan. I love it.
I think he is. He'll be getting a badge soon. Although I've already got a badge for his side, so it's only fair.
The badge.
but that's interesting, isn't it? That thing was playing on your mind, but today was your day off, and you woke up no problem at all. But you would say that was because it was playing on your mind from not getting it done yesterday.
100%. I hadn't addressed that I hadn't addressed the elephants in the room. I hadn't cleared my mind, and and so I slept on that. And it kept me awake. And that's what stress, and that's what emotion does to you. You can't sleep on stress and emotion. You've got to get rid of it. I mean, that doesn't help when you're not stressed and emotional, and you've just got a dog barking in your face, or a cat, rubbing it in your head. But that aside, you just can't allow stress and emotions or situations that could stress you, could keep you emotional, because man, it just does you sleeping. And defo, Grant, defo. We've got something coming for you, Grant.
Don't you worry, mate. We got something lined up for you. And anyway, Grant, just as we're on, I want an invite to your Sunday sessions, please. I want to come and do one of those LBT sessions with you because they look fun. But no, I missed out on being an Oompa Loompa. I'm gutted.
For anyone that doesn't know, for anyone that watches this, Grant runs
More Than Fitness
up in Livingston, and now very soon coming to Glasgow. But they also are now online as well. So if anyone wants to check out and get an exercise class or an absolute one world-class session and two hilariously funny chaps, check out More Than Fitness.
But their Sunday sessions are just check out the videos, especially the one with the Oompa Loompas.
More Than Fitness.
So Grant actually asked a valuable question there. Okay, what strategies do you to implement to combat that stress at night?
Go.
So for me, what I do is I say I have a pad. So when I used to work in the corporate world, I have lots of things going through my mind. And one of my mentors always said, have a pad or post-its beside your bed, because when you're quite creative, even if it's not stress, when you're creative, you have these ideas, you just write them down, because when I've written them down, it stops my subconscious thinking about them, generating them. So as I've captured them, and then guess what? When I wake up in the morning, I've got this information to point. I'm not trying to think, oh, what did I think about, right? Or what was out troubling me? It's written down and it's out of my mind and it's gone. So again, it's a great way of just relieving that sort of nighttime stress. The other thing is just preparing your state for bed, just being ready and not having those things that are going to worry you, and just, getting yourself ready for bedtime. The worst thing people can do is they read emails, or they're working literally before they go to bed, or they're doing things that aren't setting themselves up for sleep. It's, and it's just like, I find people reading books that, like self-help books, that are really useful, but can get your mind thinking. It's the worst thing to be doing at that time of night. Is reading. You should be relaxing. I'm chasing terrorists in Libya when I'm going to bed at night, because that's the book I'm reading currently. But it relaxes me, and it's like fantastic. But I wouldn't read a how to strategize this because it's just having my mind thinking about it all night.
I think something we promote definitely with our clients is if we're talking about stress at night, about stress in sleep, is the today started last night.
Mm-hmm.
Finish your day by planning tomorrow. I never leave the office without having planned tomorrow, without having looked at what my schedule is, so that I'm in state straight away. Okay, I know what's the thing on my agenda. I know what's going to be on it. I still need to remind myself in the morning, but I know what's going to happen. It's not a surprise to me. I'm not going to get any unexpected stress. What you're having, I was told very early on to get out of my bed, and I needed it because I had 1,000,001 thoughts all the time going through. I was always writing. And again, we're going to sound like we harp on here, but we talked about it yesterday. Probably talk about it every day. But if you're not completing these mastering emotions, if you're not sort of meditating, and in that, not this fucking humming noise and hands in the air, it's just a simple step back from the situation. Just meditate with a pen and paper. Bloody write down what you've got to get done, what's stressing you out, and think, what can I do now? What can be done tomorrow? What can I palm off? And
absolutely.
Essentially, it comes down to communication. You're communicating with yourself and telling yourself,
people forget about that, though, don't they? They can talk about, got to be a great communicator with people. Well, how often do you communicate actually with yourself? And I'm not talking about being a crazy person talking to yourself out loud, which you can. There's nothing wrong with it. But how often do people actually communicate? Me and you do, because we train ourselves, we developed ourselves, and everything else. But how do you do that? I'd say one thing, because Grant's going to put a comment. Grant, tell Amanda to sign up for our free masterclass on Friday night. If she wants to get more information about dealing with emotional eating. Tell her to sign up. Transform365.uk/Feb Masterclass at Reg. Scrolling on screen. It'll also be in the comments after this has been posted. Tell her to sign up for that, and we'll go through my 100 kilogram weight loss journey, and also how I approach emotional eating. and that'll be a great start point for her.
And now we've done it successfully, and now it's now a world-class program.
Yeah, precisely. So yeah, but going back to that thing, yeah, I think you're so right. This talking to, I think we covered it yesterday. We talked about meditation, and it's not the deep stuff. It's just about clearing your mind, and having these internal conversations is just really important. Yeah. Absolutely, just because again, when we come into emotional eating again, the biggest cause of it is that inner voice that creates that negativity and creates the fuck it attitude. Oh, I had a bad day, or I've gone off the wagon, or I've binged, and it just starts that spiral. Because guess what? The negative voice, especially if you're that way inclined, is so powerful inside you that if you don't practice talking to yourself and bringing the positive voice through, it will just get worse. And I think the more you practice talking to yourself and talking to silencing your inner critic, which is something that we cover in our Transform X program.
But I mean, typically that's how it happens. The inner critic that we'll talk about in the program and we cover is not just, it doesn't just appear.
No.
It's been hardwired, and I'm going to actually tickle this topic on Thursday with our group and detail in a few weeks with yourself. But inner critic doesn't just appear one day. It doesn't. No. The inner critic has been there because we've talked to ourselves in such a negative way. When we become stressed, when we're emotional, emotions happen, and then we go into the mental state. Repeat mental talking, inwardly communicating to ourselves in a negative way. Inner critic is formed, and the only way to get rid of it is to create an inner champ.
Precisely.
Create an inner champ by talking positive to yourself. That is, when you get into them stressful situations, take a step back, move. And I used to do it. We've talked about meditation and ways of meditating. Running, going for a run. It doesn't have to be sitting it. Go for a walk. Go for whatever it is to take yourself out of the situation, so that you just have a few minutes to clear your mind and then step back into the zone. But communicate with the champion.
Precisely. And if you think about that distraction, that stepping away, it's one of the key techniques you use in emotional eating, because if you can do that step away, if you distract yourself, that pattern interrupt for just 5 minutes, and if it's right, I'm thinking this, go for a walk, distract. That technique is just a brilliant one that can, on the lower end of the scale, the simple urges can just easily get rid of it, and it can apply to so many things. Because once you've done that pattern interrupt, the more you start thinking about it, your negative voice will come through. If you do something that then distracts it, boom, straight away, you'll just get rid of it. And I just think
you're now starting to grow the inner champ instead of parasite. Instead of feeding the inner critic, you're feeding the inner champ, because you step away and you're doing positive.
Yeah, and you get that voice louder and louder inside of you. Because I don't know. I've never studied the psychology of it too much, but it seems like the inner critic is a natural phenomenon within the human mind, because it's almost the part of that amygdala. It's a fight or flight, so it's always going to protect you, because the critic is stopping you from danger. It's like going, don't do that, don't do that, don't do that, and then over time you just develops into a more negative, depending on your personality and your circumstances. If you are surrounded by negative people, guess what? Your inner voice gets more and more negative.
Yeah. Well, and so we're going to, funny enough, we're going to tickle this on Thursday as well. And that is, inner critic essentially is hardwired into us by communicating inwardly. The myelin sheath is what we grow. The thicker, the more we talk to ourselves, the more we grow the myelin sheath, the thicker the myelin sheath becomes. And the myelin sheath then is and the myelin sheath is essentially, you think of the myelin sheath like a protective case around an electrical wire. It's what allows the communication signals to go up and down the body. So the thicker that is of inner critic material, then more hardwired we are to become or to have beliefs that are negative, that are limited to us.
Yeah.
But let it be known that the brain is able to reshape. You can rewire the brain. You can change shape. You can change the route. You can change the signal.
Absolutely, and because it is basically a ball of electricity, so it can be rewired.
Energy can be. Yeah.
And people who say it can't, then just haven't tried hard enough.
Yeah, but you can teach old dogs new tricks. You fucking can.
You can. Yeah. Hey, mate, I can't even teach new dogs new tricks, mate. So I've been trying for a year to get Idris to give me his paw. He doesn't.
Yeah, because he doesn't want to. You can't teach old dogs new. You can't teach new dogs new tricks if they don't want to. If they don't want to learn.
Yeah, this is true. But Oreo, his brother, quite hard to give me a paw now. Eva, she's the cleverest because she can actually stand up on the back paws and lift up and give you high fives, and she can dance. So, but Idris is special. Anyway, cool. Listen, Dom, it's your day off, mate, and thank you very much for joining me this morning. I appreciate you giving me your time on your day off. Have a fantastic Wife Wednesday. I just want to say one thing. It is my wife's birthday today, and she's 49 years old. Bless her. And our joint birthday present is coming today, and we are so rock and roll, mate. We have a new Shark vacuum cleaner, and that is our joint birthday present. How rock and roll are we?
My wife is now jealous. The gasp of air that I've just felt suck out of the house is.
Yeah, mate. That you rock and roll when you buy each other a Shark vacuum cleaner for your joint birthday present.
Shark vacuums, going up.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks for that, Grant. Yeah, I'll pass on your good wishes to her, and I'm going to catch up with you, Grant, because I've realised I can get past Nicola's ban because it's work trip up to Glasgow to come and do a workout with you guys, so I'm allowed to do that.
Oh, and I can join.
And Dom can join too. Yeah, so it's a work trip because we're working. So I've checked. Nicola can't ban us from entering Scotland, even if she tries. So anyway, have a great day, Dom. I will see you tomorrow morning for another Chris and Dom's morning boost. And and I'm going to pop on live later on tonight, mate, just for a bit of a chin wag with myself because I can. Have a great day, everybody. Thanks for tuning in, and please like and share. And tell everyone about Transform 365 because we are doing great things. Have a great day. Adios.
Adios.
Yes.